If you want to be unhappy, chase happiness. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But it's true, and in this video, I'll explain why. One of the most obvious reasons is that happiness, which is just one out of the range of emotions encompassed by the human condition, is transient. In fact, it's because of the breadth of our emotional range that all emotions are necessarily transient. So to only want to experience one is not only unreasonable, but also impossible, and it can only bring you the exact opposite of what you're chasing: a lot of misery and suffering. Inside Out does a great job of exemplifying this, as it shows us that always forcing yourself to be happy by ignoring or minimizing all other emotions will just wreak havoc on your system. This is because no one emotion, including happiness, is sustainable, but rather we need a healthy balance to thrive. Happiness may be great for moments of celebration and play, but it isn't as well suited to more serious, tense, or heavy moments. These all call for their own suite of emotions to be handled properly, and even though some may feel uncomfortable, we have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I get it though, you want to feel good as often as possible. No one wants to feel bad. But chasing happiness isn't the answer. Why? Because logically you don't have what you chase. Therefore, by chasing happiness, you're affirming to yourself that you're not happy. Like Mark Manson says in The Subtle Art of How Not to Give a Fuck, the desire for a more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience. Alan Watts referred to this as the backwards law, which explains that by chasing, grasping, and creating attachment to something, you actually separate yourself more from that thing. By wishing you were rich, you only make yourself feel poor. By wishing you were popular, you only make yourself feel more like a loser. By wishing you were attractive, you only make yourself feel more unattractive, and on and on and on. In short, by wishing away any part of your current conditions and/or circumstances, you only highlight the flaws in your current conditions and/or circumstances. See the problem yet? Well, strap in, because there's more. Besides emphasizing our sense of lack, chasing happiness, like inflating ourselves with hope, makes us become outcome-oriented. It's like chasing the dragon. You'll always just be looking for your next high, for the next thing you can either do or acquire that will give you your dose of happiness. Rather than appreciating what it is you already have, do, and experience, you'll always just be focused on more. Buying more, experiencing more, doing more, wanting more, having more, needing more. Which is unfortunate and a great recipe for misery, not happiness. Because for better or worse, humans adapt quickly, and that means that we quickly get desensitized to our conditions, especially when they're positive. This means that any achievement will quickly become expected and run-of-the-mill. It'll become our new normal, and we'll take it for granted, forgetting how much it cost us to achieve it or how bad our life was beforehand, all of which will make your happiness fade quicker than it came. And that's why chasing happiness will never work. Thought we were done? Not quite. If you aren't listening closely, you could have easily missed the last reason why chasing happiness will only result in unhappiness. In my last point, I warned you that the conditions and circumstances that at one point made you happy quickly become our new normal. As we quote, forget how much it cost us to achieve it. And that's the thing. Nothing in life is free. So to gain something, you must give something up, and like it or not, that applies to attaining happiness too. The problem is that we can get so caught up thinking about how good it'll feel to attain the things that we believe will make us happy that we forget to consider all of the things we'll have to sacrifice to be able to do so. That's why instead of romanticizing happiness, I think it's important to really weigh it against all the sacrifices you'll have to make to attain it. For example, are you willing to sacrifice time with your family so that you can put more hours into work with the hopes of attaining the momentary happiness that comes from being promoted? Are you willing to sacrifice the comfort of sitting on the couch and eating whatever you want for your dream body? Are you willing to go through years of isolation working on a business for the momentary happiness that'll come from earning X amount of money? I'm willing to bet that a lot of the time the answer would be no. And that's the problem with romanticizing happiness, or romanticizing anything really. It blinds you to the ugly side of reality and instead locks you in on the ideal version you concocted in your head. In my opinion, it's much better to just let happiness come and go naturally, rather than to chase it. This is akin to doing things for the journey, not for the destination, which we all know results in infinitely more satisfaction than doing the opposite. So next time you find yourself wishing you could just be happy, remember that happiness isn't all it's cracked up to be. Doing this has a double benefit of paradoxically lessening the unhappiness you're currently experiencing, while also freeing up your mind enough to allow you to find a way to keep moving forward, rather than ruminating on what you don't have, which, if you're watching this video, is probably nothing compared to what you do. Now that you know that chasing happiness doesn't actually result in more happiness, you might be wondering if there's anything that does. Luckily, this will be the topic of my next video, so make sure to subscribe so that you're notified as soon as it drops. Before you leave though, leave a comment down below with what you think that might be. I want this to be a space where we can all share with each other, so I really look forward to reading what you have to say. As for right now though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.